Svensson picks it up, passes it up to the forward.
With like 7 seconds to go. Coast to coast.
What?
It's actually, yeah, Mike Richards, please don't touch him, he's pretty. Let go of him, he's old. Like, what is he gonna do? What are you doing? He's a baby. He would do nothing wrong.
Guy loves chicken too.
Chewbacca?
I said $1 million and the rights to Newfoundland.
She answered the question. Agree. I was right.
Honolulu.
You guys are so loud for people who are agreeing with each other.
Yes. So I'm just generally kind of bummed, Alex.
I'll break away. You can't stop me now. Try and stop me how? Try to break up my old band with everything that I've got.
Do you know that song or something, Phil?
I do know that song.
How do you know that song, Phil?
I wrote that. Actually, I didn't. I wrote the drum part for that song.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about it.
No, we didn't.
Our new theme intro is from your band, Retcon.
Yeah, that
Check them out on Spotify.
Was that the first song? That was the first single that we released over the summer, Breakaway. You can stream it everywhere. You get your music, Apple Music, Spotify, pretty much everywhere. We decided to use that song for our season 2 intro.
Back when we considered changing the name of the Coast to Coast podcast to the Breakaway Podcast, which hasn't soured a minute. Which hasn't soured a minute ever since Amazon announced their Coast to Coast Thursdays.
Oh my! The same day.
Hasn't.
Amazon, where are our royalties?
No, yeah, absolutely.
You do realize Amazon's is Coast, T-O, Coast?
Yeah, I'm sure everyone cares about that.
Yeah, I'm also sure everyone knows who we are.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So thanks for tuning in for the Coast number 2 Coast.
Anyway, Breakaway by
The next
Retcon
graphic's
out
gonna have
everywhere.
like a little hashtag.
Yeah. So this is our actual season 2
Season
kickoff
premiere.
show.
We've replaced
Braden's here,
we've
so
replaced
that's
Braden.
good.
Yeah, we have no Red Shaw, but I mean we replaced him with
Mini Matt Duchesne.
Mini Matt. Maybe.
I was waiting for the camera.
Oh.
You can get yours now at wherever Casey got this in 2012.
You need a time machine.
Yeah, you need to go back in time for a bit.
He also doesn't play for that team anymore.
On this episode, we're going to talk about a little bit about off-season stuff, a little bit from this preseason, and then we're going to touch on some Flame stuff because they played in their first regular season game before we're back with you guys on Tuesday. But let's start with off-season stuff.
When's their okay?
What?
When's their regular season? We'll get to it.
They start on the 6th, and we have a show on the 7th.
It gets complicated next week purely because there's preseason and
Or
regular
eighth.
season.
7th, yeah, is the Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
In any event, there is nowhere else we can kind of start talking about off-season stuff before we touch on the Johnny Gaudreau and Matt Gaudreau. I don't want to call it an accident because when someone makes the decision to
Tragedy.
drive drunk like that, tragedy. Thank you.
Just a pure disclaimer. Uber is cheaper than someone's life. If you are going to drink and go out and do that kind of thing, that's perfectly fine. Just have a safe way of getting home, whether that's a designated driver, a taxi or an Uber, or a safe way of just getting home, because then stuff like this does not happen.
Yeah,
Do
sadly.
not drink and drive. Do not drive under the influence. Simple enough.
Sadly, both Gaudreau brothers, Johnny and Matt, were killed in a drunk driving accident in New Jersey the day before their sister's wedding. That was on August 16th,
I think it was.
No, it was
August 29th. August 29th.
I think 16th. Who am I?
And then since then, kind of more uplifting stuff. Johnny's daughter, Noah, celebrated her 2nd birthday a couple days ago, and pretty much the entire Jackets team went over to the Gaudreau's family's place just to celebrate Noah's birthday.
As well as the GoFundMe for Matthew's wife and unborn child reached, last time I checked, over $750,000. And from what I remember, there were donations. There was, off the top of my head, I can't remember all of them, but there was Panarin, Hedman, Giordano, a bunch of hockey players were just
Matt
Like
Duchene as
just
well.
being super incredible. I think it's a tragic event, but just seeing that kind of just shows how
Do you want to
impactful.
clip that on your other side?
Yeah, I will after.
Okay, cool.
How
The-
impactful he was for just hockey in general.
The community really got behind it there. Like some of the pictures from like the satellite. I was just there last night for the Calgary Hitman game, and there's still stuff like etched into the steps and stuff. I never got a chance to go down to the actual memorial. It just didn't work out. But
I went down there for a WWE Raw show when they were in town, and the memorial was still up. So I think I took a couple pictures of the memorial.
I went to the vigil, and I think it was Michael Backlund had a really nice story of.
I almost teared up at Lanny's quote.
Yeah.
The take it easy on the legend up there, kids. You're there a little bit earlier than expected, or something to that effect.
wild.
Yeah, it just didn't feel right starting the second season without kind of mentioning that.
Again, same message as before though. Just you got to be safe when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah. Getting to, I guess, happier things. I'm not going to say more hockey-related stuff because that is technically hockey-related. A lot of big moves over the offseason that we didn't really get the chance to touch on because we stopped making shows in July.
Also, a lot of big moves that we all anticipated that didn't actually happen. Some extensions that didn't happen that a lot of us thought they were.
Yeah, like Sidney Crosby, he didn't end up going to Honolulu. I was really bummed about that.
I'm talking about like Marner, Shesterkin, and Rantanen.
I'm still cutting together the highly requested Honolulu compilation. So you just added another episode I have to go through, my guy.
That's our new
That's
ESHL
pretty
team.
early.
That's our new ESHL team.
Who What? Okay, cool. I'll make sure to add this episode into the compilation as well. Oh my God.
I'll send you the perfect song for the compilation. It's literally called that. It's from High School Musical 2.
Okay. Love that. I'm sure I can use that as well.
This is a great segue.
Let's get into signings. So let's start with, I guess we'll go alphabetically and we'll touch on Lindholm and Zadorov, both signed in Boston. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen staying in the Sabres. The Hurricanes re-signed Nietzsche after much talk of him being shipped out of town. Teravainen's with the Hawks. Monahan
went to the Blue Jackets.
Is now a Blue Jacket. Kind of sadder now, but he's with the Blue Jackets. Dallas.
That's so crazy.
Dallas, if you want to pick up Mini Matt's life-size remake, signed in Dallas along with Thomas Harley.
Did you say his life-size?
His remake? Yes, I did. That sounds about right. I think Mini Matt came for regular Matt. Tarasenko, Mason Raymond, and Lucas Raymond. Or I'm thinking Mason Raymond.
Mason Raymond
He's
was
in the
at
K.
Vigil, I think, though.
Was he?
Did he play? Because I think he did play the. I'm pretty sure he was there. Sorry, that's just weird that came up. But
who am I thinking is in the K? Whatever. Lucas Raymond and Moritz Seider are in Detroit. Jeff Skinner, after being bought out by the Sabres, landed in Edmonton. Anton Lindell re-signed in Florida. Nashville coming flying out of the gates. What?
I was going to say that.
Okay. Nashville coming flying out of the gates with Stamkos, Marchessault, and Shea when July 1st kicked off. Dawson Mercer stays in New Jersey. Shane Pinto stays in Ottawa. Toffoli moves over to San Jose for now. Seattle coming out swinging as well with signings of Montour Stevenson and Matty Beniers. Chris Tanev and Max Domi going to Toronto, and Jake DeBrusk going to Vancouver, and Archer Shilovs staying in Vancouver.
Which was a lot bigger now considering the whole Demko situation.
Yeah, they'd be a little bit screwed if they didn't.
Because the Smith, I don't even know who their backup would be because the Smiths signed in Dallas for 3 years.
Any of those signings kind of stick out to you guys?
But I think obviously you forgot one signing to Detroit of a goalie, Jack Campbell.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna yell at me for not mentioning Alex Wenberg in San Jose.
Oh yeah.
He also took a $5 million pay cut from what he was making in Edmonton. Now makes $870K. Still a lot of money, but compared to what he did make, yikes.
Bounce back here. Bounce back.
Obviously, not going to touch on this too long because we do have other stuff to get to. I think the winner coming out of the offseason for signings is Nashville.
Absolutely.
Second place, I'd give Detroit because you kept your future.
I don't know about Tarasenko.
You kept your future in Raymond and Sider.
Yeah, but Tarasenko was a question mark. I would have given second place to Seattle with Montour, Stevenson, and Beniers.
I wanted Pittsburgh to sign Tarasenko.
Okay, cool. It's really good that you whispered that. In any event, extensions, Crosby, Draisaitl, and Esa Lindell, sorry.
There was no doubt with Crosby. Just kidding. There was a lot of doubt at times.
Do you want to touch on the Crosby signing or extension? Sorry.
I think basically he makes 8.7, which Phil loves very much. But it also just shows how much of a team player he is throughout his entire career, and that's if Pittsburgh has a chance at making playoffs, him signing for cheap is a good reason, or is going to help them move forward. Unlike Leon Draisaitl, who signed a $14 million contract extension and makes a lot of money, which now they need to sign McDavid, who's obviously going to get and want more, and Bouchard is asking for $11 million.
It's a lot of money.
It is.
I would also ask for $11 million. Can I have $11 million?
Yep.
Sick. Done.
In my opinion,
See how easy that is?
Bouchard
Connor
does
McDavid?
not.
Do it.
Bouchard does not deserve $11 million, in my opinion.
No human being does. I agree.
And then for trades, Yaroslav Askarov looking for an opportunity, gets shipped off to San Jose. Good luck, kid. Rutger McGroarty and Brendan Yeager
Swap.
swap 1-for-1 between Pittsburgh and Winnipeg.
Still love you, Brendan Yeager.
And shifting into
That's a
our
mine.
preseason talks.
As a child.
Brendan Yeager's a year younger than me.
No.
Shifting into preseason talks, August 19th, Patrick Laine gets shipped off to Montreal.
I'm older than Brendan Yeager.
Of course you are. He plays
Oh.
in the juniors, dude.
That hurts. That hurts.
What were you expecting?
Dude, I'm the young one. Like, this is weird for me. God, that
my
hurts.
God.
I thought I was younger than Brendan Yeager. All right, moving on.
So Patrick Laine gets shipped off to Montreal, and that takes us directly into our preseason talk. Let's start with, man, they should cut it down, and they should cut it down a lot.
Preseason?
Yeah,
Oh, dude. Yeah, preseason's
because
brutal.
it
Honestly,
is
just get rid of
taking
it.
no prisoners.
No. I wouldn't get rid of it, but the fact that you've lost
So many
Doughty's
people.
month to month, Nylander got hurt,
Ryan Bacher,
Bacher is hurt. What was his injury?
someone with his leg. Same
Right.
game as Laine.
Oh, right. He's out 5 to 6 months. Laine dodged a bullet and was only out 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
That looked gross.
I thought that he
that
was
looked bad.
done.
Some other big ones include
Arbor Zakash blowing out.
Yeah, guys.
Xhaka. Or
Stutzel.
call him Wi-Fi. Because his last name is funny because it resembles a Wi-Fi password.
Stutzel.
Oh, I've never heard that before.
Are you being sarcastic?
Anyway,
I can-
Stutzel apparently was in practice today, you said?
Yeah, all Ottawa players that were hurt from last night's game.
They
which
were all in practice. this
Brady Tkachuk, Thomas Chabot, and Stutzla are all back and presumably okay.
Like that Wi-Fi hit. Like you don't need that. Why? What was he trying to
Wi-Fi.
accomplish there?
Same with the Ridley Gregg on Kirby Doc one, I would argue.
Think they fight at the end of the night? I know Kirby Doc fought
Yeah,
somebody.
Kirby Doc came back.
Just seems so unnecessary.
It's preseason, guys.
Like I'm every time like I'm watching like the Capitals, the Penguins, or like even the Leafs, for example. Like you're worried not for the fact that I don't care if your team wins or loses. It's preseason. I only care for the fact that the players for the team you're cheering for make it out of the game alive. Like it's just if Arbor Xhaka did that to like Crosby, for example, Crosby's retiring because of concussions. There's no need for like that type of hit.
Yeah.
And how brutal the injuries have been.
It's so unnecessary.
I do think that the NHL should shorten the preseason. I genuinely do.
I think they got to be careful on which teams they put against each other in preseasons too. Like obviously you probably, even though it's like proximity thing, you don't want them traveling a ton for preseason, but you don't want a preseason Battle of Alberta, because that's
I
what
mean,
you
we had a
said.
split squad of them.
Yeah, but I don't know. No one got hurt.
Yeah,
And
luckily.
like Montreal, Ottawa, someone's gonna kill each other.
Well, they just
And they
lost.
did.
Yeah.
So let's start with number of games. I think it shouldn't be more than 5.
How many preseason
How many
games are
is
there?
it? Yeah.
So not all teams play the same. Some play 8, some play 6. I think.
Yeah, because some teams also go overseas and play like the global series.
That's regular season.
No, there
Yeah.
was one.
Well, the Buffalo
usually
Sabres
do.
Buffalo
went
Sabres
to,
went
yeah.
and played some random team in Munich.
But they
In
usually,
preparation
Oh,
for their
random.
regular season game.
They're doing that in the regular season too.
That is
Just
that,
randomly going and
yeah,
playing.
The regular
Nashville did
season.
that.
The regular season
Why?
technically starts tomorrow in. Oh God! In Czechia against New Jersey.
Oh, right. They did that
That's
last year
in-
with Detroit and Ottawa and Sweden.
Yeah, that Reimer Stutzel overtime goal where Reimer tried to.
I watched that in class. That was yeah. So it gets complicated because now those two teams are going to be playing regular season games, and then everyone else will be playing preseason games,
Yep.
and it just gets weird.
The season starts before the preseason ends.
I'm thinking that I don't know if at the beginning of last season, but it feels like every year the last few years preseason has been cut down because of COVID and everything. So I wonder if it just feels extra long nowadays because we haven't had this many preseason
Yeah.
games in a while. But
I don't know. I would agree. It seems extra long. this year.
yeah,
Like,
it
it's
just
just
seems
like
so long.
like.
I thought it was supposed to start this week. Other than this game in Czechia.
No.
Because I was basing it all on fantasy as well.
You know what
and our
Czechia needs
fantasy
more of?
fantasy
Hockey.
season starts tomorrow. That's purely because there's regular season games.
Yeah, and
I
then
actually
like-
want to know.
the regular
Look at the
season.
NFL. There's no regular season NFL games while there's preseason NFL games.
Did the Buffalo
that shouldn't
Sabres
be a
win that
thing.
game?
I think
they
it's
have
just
to have.
because they go international and then for
I
them
guess,
to
but
adjust
like,
back.
it's so weird. You'd be like, oh, the Devils are playing a regular season game. Like these points matter. Then like the game right after, the San Jose Sharks are playing the Blackhawks, and it's preseason. Oh, that was another injury. Celebrini.
I hear he's fine though.
He's okay now, but it's just.
But you guys don't think the same things would happen in regular season? In my head, it's the same.
It's a bit
ice.
different, though.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
but,
hard
but
to tell. But
when it's regular season, that's like when it matters.
yeah.
You know?
Every game matters in regular season, and then playoffs. Well, if you get hurt, at that point you just pray that you can still play.
Also on that same preseason starts or season starts before preseason ends thing. Cast your minds back to the North Division season, where the playoffs started before the regular season ended.
Oh yeah.
'Cause-
Wasn't that based off like games being postponed though?
Yeah, so
that's a bit
Calgary and
different.
Vancouver had a couple of postponed games, and they played their season games during playoffs.
Well, I don't think it was during play. I think it was like the gap of the regular season technically ending.
I think.
I know what you. Yeah, it was, but that was like that's like I would say out of the NHL's control because the
Yeah.
game was postponed.
But like you can also like.
True. I don't even think. Like,
you cannot.
oh yeah, like, Vancouver didn't even like play any starters.
Granted, that's a lot of that gets into a bunch of we want to get paid stuff, so maybe they should have oughta anyway.
True.
I'm just
but-
looking at this Germany game, the Buffalo Sabres versus the Munich team. They spanked them.
Yeah, Red Bull. Yeah,
5-0.
yeah.
They spanked them. You know how many shots on goal Red Bull had? 17.
I would have guessed 12.
Yeah.
The last team to lose to like the Munich
Buffalo
team
had
wasn't
40.
like, was the Phillies, not the Phillies, the Flyers.
The
Wrong sport.
Phillies. Ah, the football.
Same city, wrong sport.
Was the Fanatic there?
Probably. Well, this is a hockey show.
Anyway, preseason. It shouldn't be more than 5 games.
I agree.
I think you
That
do.
probably shouldn't be in Germany. I think.
I think you do 3
No.
games.
I think is Dallas going in Finland next year?
Something like that. Yeah.
Dallas is going to Finland.
That sounds
I just know
about
that.
right.
It's but the NFL does the same thing, right?
Yeah, but
Like,
those are regular
the-
season games.
It's true.
In the middle
'Cause
of the season, aren't they? Too?
Yeah.
Well, NFL's also go like they had a game in Brazil. Controversial.
Apparently it was
Yes.
wild.
Controversial, very, but still, they went to Brazil and they went to England last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The England one I heard was good, but there's issues that come with it, with being in a different continent than North America. So
Anyway, I would like no more than 5 games. You get
you said that 4
again.
times.
I'm still trying to finish my
Just point out.
sentence. In Calgary's case, you get the Wranglers up for 3 games, then you get your NHL squad for the last 2.
Yeah.
There's no reason there should be more than 5.
I agree with you. I think
think
we
most
get to
people
get
would.
to hockey. It doesn't torture us.
Yeah.
I want to watch some hockey.
That's an insane shot. That is super
The 2
cool.
shot?
Yeah.
Who else have
Hey.
2 shot there?
Look at us.
Is it also, I wonder if also, I wouldn't think so, but does it have to do with any of the scheduling with other major league sports?
In September, not really.
Because like
It's just baseball, really.
I did see like a memory on Facebook from years ago was the season starting like yesterday.
It
And I was
doesn't
like,
matter
oh.
so much for hockey because though they don't play with baseball courts and on baseball courts.
Baseball courts.
It matters more if you have a basketball team, I guess. 'cause
Yeah.
then you have to
I was
switch
just
off
thinking
as well
prime
as,
time
as well as
television.
concerts.
Although there's so many people that work in those arenas, like that's not that big of a
Yeah,
deal. They can do it.
it goes-
I saw a time lapse, and it was like LA, and in like over the course of 3 days, they hosted 2 basketball games and 2 concerts.
Yeah.
And they showed a time lapse, and like there's so many people working in those organizations, like
can't-
they can do it.
I can't remember which one it was, but there was they switched from basketball, like the court, to ice.
Yeah.
Over like pretty much overnight. It's just they got it down to a T. So
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
But I just meant as in watching TV.
Yeah, like other sports competition is more
Yeah.
what you're referencing.
Yeah, as in like what's going to be on
I mean, who are you competing with right now, though?
curling.
no, football. Football will be the big
Well,
one.
I'm
Yeah,
thinking
but they
what's
don't-
on
they don't-
Sportsnet.
I'm
But
no,
I'm looking
you're,
at the
you're, more, you're
schedule.
more competing with baseball,
Baseball,
right now.
I guess.
Yeah, but baseball
that's on
lasts what, a
Sportsnet.
month, and then you're like playoff baseball lasts
They don't
till
play
October.
on
then you're-
Sundays. They don't
No,
play on
but-
Thursday.
No, but
They
you're
do a little
competing
bit,
with
but-
baseball's most competitive time currently.
Well, and then the NFL, you're battling every Thursday, Saturday, and Monday.
Until Chris.
Thursday, Sunday,
No,
Monday.
until like February.
Yeah, after the Super Bowl, then kind of hockey takes over, and basketball, I guess too.
Getting into this season, with about half an hour left, 33 minutes left in our show here. Let's start with something that has leaked over since the offseason. That's Jeremy Swayman in Boston.
Yeah, what a
And
wild
the- and-
situation that
and
is,
the
hey?
Bush League move coming from Cam Neely.
I've talked about it a bit on our TikTok as well, Coast to Coast podcast. But it's ridiculous. They're both acting like children, both sides, in my opinion. Swayman has been asking for 8.5, and the most recent offer, I believe, was Boston Swayman wanted 8 years at 8.5. Boston offered 8 years at 7.8. Meet in the middle. Go 8.2, 8.1, whatever, because you traded Olmark. You've already made that mistake.
Yeah.
Right now you are going into the regular season
With no goalie.
with Brandon Bussey, I believe that's how you say his last name, and Jonas Corposalo, who was ranked top 5 of one of the worst goalies in the NHL.
Corposalo?
It was Ottawa, but still.
Yes, it is a completely different team, and yes, I get the Boston allowed Olmark to be super good. But that's not good confidence as well for the team. That whole situation is now looming on everyone's head. Brad Marchand even had a question about them, but had a question asked to him about that situation. It doesn't involve Marchand at all. It's just it's leaking over. It didn't help that president, I believe it's Cam Neely, and what's the other guy's name?
Don Sweeney?
Don Sweeney, expose it to the
Names are
media.
Cam Neely and Don Sweeney.
That made it so much worse
are
that
they a cartoon?
well, they're acting like it. But like,
Bruins president Cam Neely and Bruins GM Don Sweeney.
yeah, but you don't bring that to the media. That's the one thing you can't do. It made things worse. And right now, as of October 3rd, 2024, Swayman is very much considering requesting a trade out of Boston. Where in going into the offseason,
They'd be so screwed.
where going into the offseason, all you heard was from Swayman, I want to be a Bruin. I only want to be a Bruin. I want to be a Bruin for life. And now this.
Did you mention his agent?
His agent's
Swayman's
also
agent?
his agent's also linked to William Nylander, a guy who also held out for a while till he got money.
I was more going to say, do you see what he said
Yeah, what do you
Oh,
about
that's it.
this?
Oh yeah, because there was the whole situation where, like in a press conference, I forget who it was, but
Cam Neely.
Cam Neely put out a number, and then the agent was like,
Yeah. So
What? We've never heard that number.
so Cam Neely basically said, if I were Swayman, I'd have 64 million reasons to play right now.
Hinting
Yeah.
at the fact they offered him an 8-year, $8 million contract. But then later that same day,
Later on Monday, Louis Gross, who represents Swayman, this is a quote from Emily Benjamin's article on NHL.com, who represents Swayman, responded in an Instagram post that the Bruins have not offered his client $64 million contract. To quote Gross, normally I do not release statements or discuss negotiations through the media. However, in this case, I feel I need to defend my client. At today's press conference, $64 million was referenced. This was the first time that number was discussed in our negotiations.
"That's so wild."
Prior to this
silly
press
can you
conference,
be?
no offer was made reaching that level.
How silly can you be?
are such bush league if you're doing that.
Yeah.
Not only if you're bringing it in front of the media with a specific
With a
number,
wrong number.
but if you're lying about it,
Yeah. It just makes no sense. at
horrible.
all.
What are you doing?
What are they doing?
But let's.
I can't remember. I'm not gonna be able to pull it up. But on the Instagram page Puck Empire, which if you're a hockey fan, I'm pretty sure you're aware of, he raised a really good point that if Sweeney and Neely, it is quite funny. If
Sweeney and Neely.
they went from the best goalie tandem in the NHL, in Ullmark and Swayman, and you shipped Ullmark away without signing Swayman, and if you lose Swayman,
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing his thing on Instagram, but they deserve to be fired because you just can't let that happen. You can't bring media into contract negotiations. I'm gonna bring Crosby up as an easy example, but look how much of his contract extensions throughout the entire summer were leaked out. None of it, because
That's a province.
that business shouldn't be released out because
I
stuff
agree
like
that
this happens.
I agree those negotiations should 100% be behind closed doors. There's no reason that the media should ever know until the contract is signed and they make an announcement.
Didn't you send something in the Coast chat saying like it was reported or like a writer was guessing what he would have gotten and it was like 10 or 10.5 and I launched into a huge thing of why would you do that?
Huh?
The Crosby signing.
Yeah, at the beginning of the summer, there was rumors that people thought Crosby was going to get a 10 mil, 10.5 contract based off of 3 years, and then kind of a bunch of stuff came out based off Crosby's not sure if he wanted to do age or like how much he wanted to play hockey, etc. But the money, that important information never got leaked out in this example.
I got very yelly about that. 10.5 for Crosby seems ludicrous to me.
Yeah, well, he makes 8.7 like his jersey number, right, Phil?
Yep.
19 seasons, 1987.
And his birthday.
I'm so happy.
So silly.
I will be honest, the group chat got very spammed the day he signed. I was jumping for
As
joy.
opposed to like any
If
other
you were-
day.
Yeah,
I'm really glad-
as opposed to
I'm really-
every other
Dude,
day.
I'm really glad because in our broadcast room there's a camera, like when the radio booth. I don't know if it saves footage, but I definitely ran around the table a few times at like 7 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning.
It's an odd thing to admit on television.
This is a podcast.
Let's
Live
This is
on
my
Sportsnet.
childhood hero.
let's
Never
get
meet your heroes.
into something that drops tomorrow.
My dad's also my hero. How am I going to do that?
What?
I don't know.
Nothing.
Alex, just keep talking.
Let's get into something that drops tomorrow. That's something being Face Off inside the NHL, the 6-part series coming out of the NHL playoff from this past season. Everyone's already seen some clips from it already. The Connor McDavid.
Oh, the
locker
Connor
room.
McDavid one. We were talking about that one
No.
earlier.
I will not say the explicitives. So I
my
remember
God.
during the Boston Toronto series, there was a lot of kind of problems with Nylander and the rest of the Leafs.
The Mitch Marner glove throwing incident. To be
So
chief
we
among
finally
them.
got the full quote. There are a lot of expletives. I'm not going to say them because, well,
No, I think you should say them.
beep, shoot it, stop, beep, crying, bro. This is the issue,
Why?
you guys. What?
Why are we doing this?
Well, that's the quote. I'll put it away. Fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that would have been good to just kind of leave to watch
Yeah.
personally, because I'm excited to see that.
I like how we get all aspects too. Like I'm very curious for the Landeskog one.
The 6-part series,
I'm very curious for the Landeskog one too.
according to the article written by NHL and Prime Video on NHL's website, episode 1 is Best of Rivals, Pasternak and Nylander. Episode 2 is As Tough as It
Besties.
Gets, Eichel, Philip Forsberg. 3 is Learning to Win, Swayman and Kachuk. Matthew, worth specifying.
Should be learning to negotiate contracts.
Because
If Jeremy Swayman's in it.
Episode 4, the captains, Quinn Hughes, Gabriel Landeskog, and Jacob Trouba.
I gotta watch Trouba. Really?
Yeah. episode 5, Cup or Bust, Part 1, with Draisaitl, McDavid, and Hyman.
The episode 6 is really interesting.
And then Cup or Bust, Part 2, Episode 6, Connor McDavid and Matthew Tkachuk.
So basically, you're going to get the lowest of lows and the
Yeah.
highest of highs.
Yeah.
But
That's gonna be exciting.
I'm really interested in the Landeskog one because he has not played since
he
he
won
won
the
the Stanley Cup in 2022.
I'm very curious how they cut Episode 6 together.
I'm very excited just to see like Connor McDavid say no to going out for the Conn Smythe.
Yeah, I wanna see what that was
cannot
like.
I want
wait
to see that too.
Have you not seen the clip? It was already out.
The Conn Smythe one?
Yeah, so basically he's sitting, like, they're all obviously upset
Oh,
because
you
they
just
lost
hear the
cup.
announcement, though.
All you hear is Bettman going, and your Conn Smythe winner, Connor McDavid, and he's literally just slouched and just looking at the ground.
I
It just
tweeted
does
that
not move.
day being
Yeah.
like, oh, what the runner saw going to tell Connor McDavid he won, and it's like that Jonah Hill gif of like.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
Was he just? I don't know. I just can't. Because
I
I'm
don't know.
assuming they also tell him before that announcement comes
But
on.
like,
Hey, you won.
That's
I don't
He
know.
had to
also
know
the
he
main.
was
I
going to
don't
win
think
it.
so.
That's also the main
That's the
reason why
announcement.
majority of the time it does go to a player on the winning team, because the last one was what 2003 with
J.S.
the-
Jaguar,
Yeah.
Yeah.
03.
But like that's the exact reason, because like you look at anyone who's won the Conn Smythe, they're happy to get it, they put it away, then they go for the cup.
Yeah.
Where in McDavid's case, you would have just grabbed the trophy and then gone off the ice. Like, you don't want to be there.
There were two sides to that argument. There was, a leader staying with his team, which I get, but
Yelling at them.
I don't know.
At the
Like,
same time, it's a little disrespectful.
but then
He should have
also-
gone
A
out.
little.
I think he should have gone
The
out.
camera's
Gone out.
on his parents in the crowd,
And you can see-
filming it, and they're like, "Oh, he's not coming."
you can see
her
Connor's,
say, "Oh, he's not."
You can see
coming
Connor's dad say, he's not coming out, let's
That-
go.
That's embarrassing. I feel,
I think,
I'm curious
I think
how-
he should have gone out. I
Yes.
think he should have gone out.
especially being the face of the whole.
Talking about
league.
what we
Yeah,
kind of talked about last-
you're literally the face of the whole league, and literally, like, sportsmanship is it's literally named after sports. Like, you got to be you lost.
I know this ultimately doesn't matter, but I'm curious what his parents thought after not seeing him come out.
I know,
Like,
right?
I would have been mad at my
In
child.
my head, if they're filming it, they're expecting him to
Yeah.
come out.
yeah, like his phone was out. He was expecting he's expecting Connor to come out.
I would be mad at my child if they did that.
But like at the same time, you got to play the part that you did go from 3-0 to 3-3.
Yeah,
And then lost.
That's awesome.
The
It's
other-
great.
the other-
You're
the
an athlete.
Are you
You
gonna talk
lose
about what-
sometimes.
The other
man.
part of it is like I am not Connor McDavid. I didn't just lose
I'm not the best player.
potentially my only chance at a Stanley Cup. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Also,
potentially.
I'm also very curious. We
gotta
were
be a
talking about this
sportsman.
last night in our group chat, was how they're going to release the episodes. If it's going to be just a one flat every episode release, or if it's a weekly thing.
If I remember correctly, the Leaf stock dropped them all at the same time.
So I am hoping they do that. I hope they
That
just
is so good.
give
I'm
us
gonna rip through it.
everything. Yeah.
That's what they do. That's how they do Drive to
tomorrow.
Survive. So
Dude, I'll work out and I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch that entire thing. I'm gonna be very excited.
Aiden Jesse Mayer saying that's how they did NASCAR series too.
yeah,
Oh, okay,
they just
so-
dropped it all. That's how they do everything nowadays. It's dumb.
Well, not everything, because
Almost everything.
I mean, unless you're Disney, in which case you
Yeah,
do it
Disney
in
does
weekly.
weekly.
That's like Marvel shows specifically, though.
Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah, so it comes out tomorrow. Not a specific time, I don't think, from what I've seen, but
Probably midnight.
I'm looking forward to it. Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
watch
I'm
it.
excited
Oh,
for the Gabe one
gotta
too,
get
but
Amazon
the thing that comes to
Prime.
mind is just the fact when Eric Johnson left the Avalanche and he came back, Gabe and his family went to the game and held signs on. I don't know what team Eric was on at that point. I want to say Buffalo, but I don't know if I'm just making that up.
that sounds about right.
But they had signs for him and everything because him and Eric were really good friends. So I just think
And
that's
there's a-
cute. I hope that's on there.
And there's a good chance he comes back to play this year, from what I've heard.
Has he played a preseason game?
No.
I haven't heard a thing coming out of
heard
it.
anything.
No, I've heard-
Colorado
I
or
heard that too,
Landeskog's
but I
camp.
haven't
I've heard good rumors
anything
that there's a
new.
good chance he could come back. And I also heard a lot last year,
My
but
Swedish
obviously
king.
it didn't happen. But there was a good chance that if Colorado went really deep in the playoffs, that there was a slight opportunity he could come back. But
So this
more power to him. He won the cup, went all out, and hopefully he can return.
So this documentary covers specifically the postseason. To quote the article, crews were embedded with each player and their families and friends to capture their journey through the postseason.
Was Colorado even in the postseason?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They were.
they won.
I don't remember.
I'm
They beat the
curious.
Jets and
They
lost
won.
to
I'm curious how Quinn Hughes only gets one episode.
They- Why am I asking that question?
What?
Sorry, they literally played Dallas in the playoffs.
They did. Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry.
well, at the same time, Eichel and Forsberg. Eichel only made it to round 1, and then they lost to Dallas. At the same time, but you're also getting Nylander was out for 2 games, and no one knew why. So you'll get that part of it, as well as the family and friends part. So going back to your guys' point about McDavid's parents kind of recording the Conn Smythe, I wonder if we're gonna get a kind of little inside information off of
The parents?
Yeah,
I doubt it.
No way.
I'm just.
I don't think so.
you never
No,
know.
I'm willing to bet. Are you saying from after the game?
No, I'm just saying maybe at some points you'll hear some stuff with the parents, and maybe even after the Cup final, maybe not right away, but maybe you'll hear something along the lines of with McDavid not going out on the ice to receive the
It's
Conn
actually just gonna be footage of Celeste and Laura and Connor and Leon's wives and fiancés. It'll just be them at the games and that's it.
Hey, if we can get footage of Connor McDavid's dog, I'll be happy.
I am excited for the dog footage.
I'm blanking on his dog's name.
Me too,
I think it's.
but I love all dogs.
I literally just watched a video of it yesterday.
All dogs are good. Go on.
The one super viral clip is the one of him.
Lenny, the dog name.
Okay, nice. Is the one of him in the locker room screaming. And I did
It's the finals.
Maybe it riled them up then.
it's
but,
not enough. It was
now-
kind of funny.
But now
I couldn't take it seriously.
well, you also don't.
His voice cracked. His voice cracked.
And McDavid's not
Yeah,
very
he doesn't have the voice,
He's not a very.
No,
he's not a very.
He doesn't have the
authoritative
voice for that,
figure.
does he?
I mean,
I've been saying that. I was like, why didn't he get Leon to do it? With
Or
his
Zach,
scary
I don't-
German. This is not good enough. You know.
That was
that.
that was bordering on Scottish.
all right.
That's my Leon Draisaitl impression.
That was not good.
But I think that would have been. I would
That
listen
was
to that
bordering
more
on
than Connor
Hiccup's
McDavid.
dad from How to Train Your Dragon.
That's how I imagine Leon Draisaitl speaks. So
He's a Viking.
oh my god.
German Viking. Anyway, McDavid. Yeah, I don't know. I saw that and I honestly just started laughing.
And then contrast that with, didn't they show that clip of Zach Hyman after they lost though?
Where he was talking to the
Yeah,
lieutenants,
and he's being a captain.
he was-
and then it just cuts to Connor David screaming.
Well,
I
it
don't
was
know.
like, wasn't it about Hyman saying we're gonna be back? We will be
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
I don't.
And
care.
I want to see each of you back here or something. He said something about his team coming back too.
Yeah, well,
Bag skate
that's not gonna
tomorrow.
work because Warren Fogle
Everybody.
went bye bye.
Yeah.
in Florida.
Everyone gets a bag skate.
It's gonna be interesting going into this season.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm not entirely sure if I can rope my wife into watching it with me, but I'll watch it before our next show.
Have you even mentioned that
What?
you got married this summer?
No. No, I don't think I did. I got married. Cam 5, I got married.
We knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we knew that.
I don't know. I didn't want to mention it, but sure.
Now you have to.
Yeah. Now I. Geez, my throat's acting up.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. So it might be
so if
something.
he disappears for a few episodes, you know why?
It might be something I watch in the basement by myself while she sleeps or
She goes
something.
to
Where's the dog?
Yeah.
With the dog. With the dog.
Yeah, with Iggy.
What the dog do?
No, it looks. I'm excited for it. I refuse to believe that's actually what
It'd
William
be like a
Nylander
6-hour.
said.
Watch it
but-
be like a 6-hour documentary, just an hour per episode. It's like, all right, ton of lot. It's just
Is
Alex.
that
Starting at
how long
midnight,
do you
we're going to
think they're
6.
gonna be?
What's that?
How long do you think they're gonna be?
Well, they're an hour. I don't know. I'm thinking 45 to an hour.
Yeah, an hour long would make a lot of sense. I think.
So they release them all at once, 6 hours. Alex, you're starting at midnight. And you're going to 6.
Done.
Dumb.
I'm curious to hear to Nylander's quote that you brought up again. I'm curious to hear him say it.
I know. I just feel like
He really didn't like Marner in that.
I need a
series.
drink or something. I'm dying.
You can go get one.
No, I'm good. I'm all right. I'll power through. There's only 15 minutes left.
I really didn't think the camera needed to be a solo shot of Alex.
I was about to say.
Thanks, Aiden.
Thanks, Johnner. Appreciate it, buddy.
But no, especially during that series, Matthews went through some tummy problems apparently. Nylander, I think, had migraines for the first 2 games, and Marner was just crying at absolutely everything.
Yeah.
He was crying at every. You got to keep in mind, it's the playoffs. They're not going to call everything. They are going to let you fight.
Yeah.
They are literally instructed to be like, look, you're going to play at least 4 games against the exact same team, and even the fact it's Toronto versus Boston. They already don't like each other. So, and the fact, I don't think it helped the fact that your number 2 guy, in my opinion, Nylander, is attacking one of your other top guy in Marner.
I'm sure they talk like that to each other often,
But, like-
I just don't think they're mic'd up all the time.
You saw, but like even the interviews afterwards, Nylander was just trying to like not answer questions about it, because like people did figure out by reading his lips, and now with the documentary, we just have the quote.
People were wrong too.
Yeah.
I think they had parts of the quote. They had the stop crying part.
Yeah.
I got so mad on that day though, because like there's the panel saying like Mitch Marner and these kids need to show more emotion. They need to show more of it. And Mitch like throws his gloves, whatever. That's how he gets angry in that moment. And then they're like, "You shouldn't be throwing your gloves." I'm like,
Okay,
"You wanted
so
to show emotion."
they mean emotion on the ice.
Yeah,
And that
but,
did
like,
look like Marner was throwing a tantrum.
I was listening to
Yeah,
a podcast
vibes.
and someone said, you know the problem with that is that Mitch threw those gloves like on the ground and then some trainer had to pick them up for him and then give them back to him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have. I would have been like, pick those up.
Yeah. Like, if you don't play good, that's fine. But if you start crying about it,
I'm sure lots of crying happens with every other team,
No,
and it
I
is
get
just
that,
publicized
but, like,
with beliefs.
it's publicized also because the band
Yes,
documentary
yes.
follows. But at the same time, you can't do that.
Yeah, but
At
I'm
least
sure
pick,
it
like have
happens.
some respect not only for yourself and your teammates, have some respect for the trainer.
He's just a kid, what do you expect?
I get that it's their job that they have to do all the cleaning and all the maintaining of this stuff, but for you to just chuck them down and then to be like, ironically, right where this little Duchesne is, and not pick him up,
touch him.
it's ridiculous.
But
Don't touch
but then when people get off the ice, break their sticks, what do we think happens then? The goalies just walk away and they pick those
I don't
up?
know. I've seen Jack Eichel really mad. And he snapped his stick
With his knee.
With his knee, and I think I got a little.
Back in Buffalo.
Yeah, but like who picks that
Like,
up?
who would have thought? You leave
When
Buffalo,
sticks are
you win a
broken
few
on the
bucks.
floor of the dressing rooms, wherever.
But
who
that's
picks those
different
up?
though.
That's
You're not using a broken stick again.
And that's also out of pure anger. Marner's had the perception of he was already crying in game 1 and 2, and then just hit a breaking point in game 3. If that was when that happened, I don't know if it was game
I
3
don't
or 4.
recall.
I don't know. Well, I think breaking a $300 stick is a bit more crazy than throwing
Yeah,
your
but they don't
gloves on
care.
the
They
ground.
get that.
But
Casey, they're also like millionaires.
I know. Yeah. So they can do whatever they want.
Apparently.
That's what we're saying.
What did you just pull up?
Which one?
That art. Well,
Didn't we also
Okay.
just defend Connor McDavid for whining and not going
Pouting.
out for the trophy?
crying because you're not getting calls and crying because you lost the Stanley Cup are two different arguments.
Well, he's losing
He's
the
not
Stanley Cup
crying.
in that moment.
Yeah, but he's crying because he's not getting calls on the.
You know that?
That's literally the context of the clip. And then he scored a goal like 2 shifts after.
Yeah, and then he was fine. So he showed his anger. He threw his gloves. He got a goal. Leafs fans were happy. The Sportsnet panel was happy.
I just wanted to get in.
That's actually very interesting.
Yeah, I sent this quote in the Coast to Coast Instagram chat, following up by something I will not say on air. Per an article, like every time I talk, I get that
Do you
weird
want me to go?
catch.
You want me to go?
No, I got it. The Toronto Sun's Lance Hornby put out an article about Mitch saying of the Willie and Pasternak episode of the Amazon series. To quote Marner, I probably won't watch it, to be honest. I like watching other documentaries, sports documentaries, and I'll probably tune it out a little bit. I'll probably tune in a little bit, sorry. But I don't think I'll be sitting on the couch throwing that one on at first opportunity.
What,
I feel like
because
he's-
it paints him in a bad picture?
I'm guessing he
Probably.
probably paints him in a bad
He's gonna.
Because he
he's
looks
gonna
like a whiny little
baby
guy.
He's gonna
Yeah.
skip episode 1 and then watch the rest.
Yeah.
Do you think all of them are going to be watching this?
Some of them.
I can't
I
imagine the
can-
Probably
Leafs
not.
watch
I can-
All or Nothing.
I can imagine the Kachucks will watch it.
I can't
I can imagine that.
can't
That's also a
imagine what
happy.
they're
I mean, yeah, that ends positively.
Yeah, the Florida
I'm-
Panthers will watch it for
I'm
sure.
curious if
Well, Brady,
like,
Brady will watch it too. I wouldn't
I'm-
be surprised if.
Yeah.
I'm curious if at midnight tonight, Darnell Nurse runs to his couch and whacks it on immediately.
You
Warren
just think,
Fogle.
you think a
Talk
lot.
about-
Pick an Oiler.
You know, talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
guys.
that's true.
Hyman.
I doubt the Oilers are going to be rushing to
Connor
watch it.
Brown, the best NHL player of all time.
Okay.
With 10 minutes left, the Flames start their season, I believe I said on the
Ninth.
7th.
What? No.
I think they're in Vancouver on Monday the 7th.
on
I forget
Wednesday
how
the 9th.
complicated the transition from preseason to regular season.
Wednesday the 9th.
Then I don't have to do a prediction. Never mind, I'll shut up. Could have sworn that they started before that.
Maybe it's a preseason game.
Yeah, I
It
don't
gets
think,
very,
a lot of people are like a lot of teams are like 6 days away.
it gets very confusing at this part where like, because like if anyone's in fantasy hockey, on like the fantasy app,
Me and I'm gonna win.
It will say.
Savage.
It will say that your fantasy season starts October 4th.
Oh, I big can't do math. No, I'll shut up.
So it
Well,
gets a
that's
little
because
confusing.
the 4th is the first regular
Yeah,
season game.
but then
in Czechia.
there's still teams playing preseason, which is just
Yeah.
it's a mess.
confusing.
So some Flames
It's a
news
very
that we
big
got
mess.
before the show. Jared Tenorti. Who else was it?
Walker
Jared Tenorti,
Dewar.
Walker Dewar, and Dryden Hunter on waivers. Bye-bye.
I was telling you I was surprised at the Dewar.
Dewar will probably
choice.
get picked up.
Dewar probably get picked up. Tenorti,
I don't know. I've
old?
never heard of him.
he is fairly old. I say
Jared?
fairly. These guys retire when they're 40.
Jared.
Why did I look up Jacob?
He's
Tenorti?
32.
Which is not
He's a first-round draft pick.
You're on the decline.
Drop down
if you're
Montreal.
not
He
like
played 50. How do you play 52 games? I've never heard of this man.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, he played 52 games last season. I've never heard of this man.
Minus 63.
He's minus
He's played
27.
205 across his career.
He's career minus 63.
So
That's
sorry,
not
Tenorti, Dewar, and Dryden Hunt.
Dryden Hunt.
Dryden Hunt also has
Probably
kind of
picked up.
bounced around. I think he was in Toronto before he came to Calgary.
Yeah.
But the bigger news that made Casey really, really happy, Tyson Barrie was upgraded from PTO to an actual signing.
Tyson
Former
Barrie has been
teammate
signed.
of Colorado Avalanche, Matt Duchene, Tyson Barrie.
and you already know he's going to be upset that he's not on the other Albertan team.
He's already been there.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
isn't going to make playoffs and a team who's probably going to make the semifinals.
Okay.
Tyson Barrie signing a one-year deal for 1.25 mil.
crazy.
The Flames back end definitely
1.25
needs him.
mil?
1.25 mil. Yep. The Flames back end definitely needs him.
Yeah.
Daily Faceoff has the pairings as Uyghur, Miramanov, Bean, Anderson, Ball, Barrie.
Dude, those I get like I like
Paul
Daily
Barrie.
Faceoff, but sometimes their lineups are just whack.
I've
That's
also,
about what it would be.
I've heard
For other
Tyson-
teams too. It's just there's some other teams have it where like a player who plays on the first line's on the fourth.
You
It's
might
just
go Miramanov, Bean, and Uyghur, Anderson,
Miramanov
but
is
that
cute.
third pairing of Ball, Barrie is probably what?
Ballberry.
That-
Ball? Who is
that-
that? I've never even heard of that person.
I got
Kevin Ball.
Kevin Ball. We got him in the Markstrom
He's
trade.
6'6",
Oh,
230.
okay.
He's a big guy, and I asked.
He's younger than me too. Oh.
I asked a Devils fan that I used to work with. So what can you tell me about Kevin Ball? He said he's tall.
he's a tall.
He's a tall ball, and that's it.
Hey, I'm still younger than Martin Pospisil.
Please
so
don't
that's good.
please don't unsubscribe from this show.
I've also heard that Tyson Barrie is like great locker room guy. From like every team he's been on, people say that. Even if the player only played with him for a little bit, they're like, no, he's a great locker.
I think it also depends
Room
on
guy.
like the team, because like people were saying a bunch of like Pittsburgh, whatever. Michael Bunting was a locker room. People said Michael Bunting was a locker room cancer.
Oh,
But when he came to Pittsburgh, I was like, I'm seeing this guy on like all
who
their
said
social
that? Like
media.
Carolina or did Toronto?
Toronto.
My
But, like-
God, will we ever
but, like,
stop
I'm-
complaining about anything?
Nope.
No.
We as Toronto Maple Leafs fans?
My dad
exist.
every year, so my dad's a big Jets fan. He goes, I don't care who I want the Jets to win the cup. I don't care who wins the cup.
Nope.
It's not
As long as it's not the Leafs.
Nothing good for Mark Scheck if he ever gets stuffed.
My dad like makes it like a big day. It's like Leafs elimination day. Let's get it.
If I remember correctly, Tyson Barrie, when he was with the Leafs,
Met Justin Bieber.
the fans weren't big of his on-ice performance.
So
Which I know we're talking about a 25th place Calgary Flames team, if we're lucky.
If we're lucky.
Has he played on 3 teams before Calgary? Edmonton, Leafs, Nashville.
Colorado.
He played for.
Look at Mini Man.
Look, I remember him from the Oilers, and then I know he got traded in the Ekholm trade.
He wound up in Toronto with Kerfoot for. Oh God, he went the other way to
I do
Colorado.
know it. I knew it at one point.
I knew Kerfoot and Barrie
Naz.
went to.
It was Kadri.
Oh, it's the Kadri trade.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Barry's time in Colorado came to an end July 1st, 2019, when the Avalanche traded him to the Leafs. He signed a 1-year deal, and yeah,
Tiny
No.
Hitman Corner.
and it was the Nazem Kadri.
Wait, sorry. One more thing about Tyson Barrie. I remember the day he left the Leafs. They didn't get he didn't get a goodbye post on the Leafs account.
Oh,
and I was
no.
like, I'm sorry, what?
Why?
So sad.
Okay, sorry.
Tiny Hitman Corner.
Tiny Hitman Corner. I went to the game yesterday. It was good. It was fun. The Hitman, it does look like a tiny Hitman Corner. The Hitman looks small. They
Like
played like physically. Maybe that's just me getting old, but they played the Saskatoon Blades last night, and the Blades looked huge compared to these guys. The Blades are an older team. The Blades won the regular season in the WHL last year. So Calgary hung with them until the end of the third period, where they got up 4-3 and then scored an empty net to make it 5-3. The Calgary played great, though, even though they were small. Opened it up with 2 goals from Talk and Ing. Ing, that's his first goal in the WHL. He's pretty solid. Ben Kindle, our favorite, he got an assist on the Ing goal, so that was pretty exciting. Connor Vidston is also playing for us as a 20-year-old. He's doing pretty solid. Just lots to be excited with. I think it's going to be another. What are we doing here?
Sorry, I'm trying to whack up a different tab here. Hang
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. There are some. You have a defenseman who's 5'9".
Yeah.
And you also have a defenseman who's 6'5".
Yeah, they're small. What did I say? I said they were small.
Yeah, I didn't. But like 5'9", I was kind of surprised. And 6'5".
Apparently the Hitmen are bigger.
They don't look bigger. What? No way.
Hitmen are on the right. Their average weight is 180 pounds, and their average height is 6'1". I'm fighting this.
But also the way that it's
What?
like, it's all just between 1 and 2 inches different, except for
Oliver,
that 1 year.
our leading scorer is 5'8".
I'm just telling you what Lead Prospect is telling me. In 24-25, the Hitmen are, yeah, it's Hitmen. The Hitmen are 6'1" and 180, and the Saskatoon Blades, yep, right team, 6 foot and 173.
Well, they looked bigger, Alex. I don't know what
What
to tell
color
you.
jerseys were the Hitmen wearing? Were the
White.
white ones?
Yeah,
Maybe it just made them look smaller.
maybe. I don't know.
Were the Blades in blue? Are they in like bright blue?
Blue and gold, yeah.
There we go.
Anyway, that's what I got. It was a fun game to be at. There was no one there. There was like 2,000 people there.
What did you say to us?
It felt like there was like 100 people there. It was like
There was
no one there.
There was 2,000 people there, but it did not feel like there was 2,000 people there.
No, I just saw that there was 2,000 people there. I was like, where were they?
Hey,
There was a lot of Blades fans.
The Hitmen are composed of 83.3% of Canadians, and 4.2% of players are Czechia. 4.2 are Russian, 4.2 are Sweden, and 4.2 are American. I.e., you have
Who's
4
the
players that aren't Canadian.
What's so sweet?
I don't know. I saw this little cool little pie chart, but the Hitmen have 4 players on their team that are not Canadian. The rest are Canadian.
You
Fun
are
fact.
correct. And the Swede is
6'5".
Axel Herding.
That guy's huge.
Flames Prospect.
Flames prospect.
Yeah.
Like, the guy's
He
huge.
was big. He's a
200
big boy.
205 pounds at 6'5". You are a giant.
He was a big boy.
Look, man. You want to share some of that height, please?
End of Hitman Corner.
Yeah.
End of Hitman Corner, and
End of Hitman Corner.
that'll take us to the end of
Hopefully they
the.
do good.
That'll take us to the end of the first episode of season 2 of Coast to Coast.
We'll put
Actual episode.
We're gonna pour some water on Matt Duchesne, and maybe
And he'll grow into Braden Redshaw for next show.
We'll go into Braden Redshaw
No.
over the week.
I take this one over Braden.
It's quieter, that's for sure.
That'll be it for the first episode. Thank you, Aiden and John, for helping out. I'm not sure if Maya Bella's here, but she's probably not. She probably helps out on Tuesdays. Thank
Yeah.
you again, Maya, for helping out on Tuesday. We will see you guys on Tuesday. Probably with some recap from the Amazon series that I
Tuesday.
will have
Yeah,
fully watched by then.
We'll probably watch
Yep.
it by then.
And then
That's your homework.
an actual
Homework.
Flames prediction
watching.
segment. Do you touch on Hitman upcoming before now and Tuesday, by chance?
I did not.
Okay, well,
I've
we
already
might have
closed-
Hitman
I've
Corner on
already
Tuesday.
closed
We'll
my
see.
tab. There are games. I just don't know where or when they are.
That's it. Alex Furco, Merrick Robinson,
See you guys.
Casey Freeman,
Bye.
Phil Tremblay.
Breakaway.
We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Enjoy the start of the regular season and the end of the preseason.
Here's some more retcon.
We'll see you Tuesday.
breakaway. You can't stop me now. Try and stop me.